Consumer demand for personal care products has increased significantly within the last 3 years, making health and beauty one of the fastest growing sectors of 2024. With the vast amount of products on the market, consumers are left feeling overwhelmed with choice and information. But should consumers start wondering what it is that's lurking in their everyday products? The average woman douses herself in 515 unique chemicals every day before even leaving the house. The fear that these chemicals could be potentially harming our health long term has given way to a multi-billion-pound industry that claims to be healthier, safer, and environmentally friendly. The green beauty movement is the fastest growing part of the cosmetics industry, with a significant rise in small businesses ditching synthetics for an all-natural and sustainable alternative. The term natural has become a global sensation, with some consumers now choosing to prioritise their health over convenience and aesthetics. But do we really know what we put on our skin? And how can we make sense of it all? Top Drawer is the UK's leading sustainable trade event in London Olympia. With over 500 exhibitors showcasing their brand's part in the green movement, hundreds of consumers come to this venue to test out products dedicated to creating a healthier globe. But one sector grows bigger and bigger every year: cosmetics. The green beauty movement has allowed consumers to choose from a vast array of products if they want to go all natural, and these brands believe the trend is here to stay.
Especially with the sensitivity of people's skins, with everything going on, you've got to be very careful with your skin. For me, it's all about green. We use natural waxes, we don't use any alcohol in our products. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do, but as long as it's in the fabric of your brand, then it's authentic and you don't think about what you do.
So Archipelago started in 1998 in Los Angeles, and we just have always been true to our roots about a botanical-based start. I think you have to educate the consumer on synthetic versus natural or synthetic versus organic, and that is just, I think, a shift in what the market's looking for. No sulfates, no parabens, phthalate-free, right? Because we're all consuming plastics at a rapid rate every single day.
We're Neves Bees, and we make natural skincare using our beeswax blended with plant oils and butters. We don't need to add any of the chemicals like emulsifiers, preservatives, stabilisers, thickeners that you get in water-based skincare. I think everybody will be using green products, so I'd like to think that that's the way it's going.
But for some, they believe a change is needed within the industry.
I think the whole cosmetics industry needs to have an adjustment about its lack of honesty. There's a lot of people asking a lot of questions and not being satisfied with generic answers. I still think there's a long way to go, but I also think the more consumers ask, the more honest brands become.
A lot of it, of the beauty industry, is some very strange products that they encourage us to put on our skin. There's so much in the news at the moment about microplastics just coming from the vessels that your product's in. They cause so many issues, but people don't really think about that. And they can affect your hormones, and they can cause so many skin allergies. People will just believe whatever the product says it will do, not really what's inside it that's making it happen.
As awareness increases, the impact of these substances has become a hot topic amongst consumers, and they are starting to worry about what they're putting on their skin. With more scientific evidence exposing the dangers of mainstream cosmetics, it's leaving consumers feeling confused, and they don't know who to turn to for answers. In order to understand more about what's driving brands to incorporate natural ingredients in their products, I went to visit a researcher in cosmeceuticals who serves niche clients with her all-natural and organic skincare brand. Sian Louise is the founder of Obs Skincare, and she advocates to consumers unfamiliar with the potential effects behind the long-term use of synthetic cosmetics.
I am an advocate for the use of natural ingredients because there is science to say that they are actually more effective than synthetic ingredients. Skin is the biggest organ, it absorbs like 80% of what we put on it. So I was looking for things that didn't contain all the nasties that we all hear about now. But like I say, I was being greenwashed. I get something, I look at the ingredients list and it's got microplastics in it or endocrine disruptors. Now that is the main reason, because at the end of the day, you use skincare because you want to see results, right? And the organic skincare, the way it's made, the ingredients, without pesticides, eco-friendly ways, without petrochemicals, means that your skin isn't being covered with rubbish, but also you're not going to get those endocrine disruptors. You're not going to get the microplastics because of the synthetic ingredients that some brands use. They're just cheap fillers. They care more about their profit than the planet and the people that are using it.
In the UK, the cosmetic regulation law mandates that all products must be secure, using safe ingredients and undergoing tests that assess the concentration and purity of the product. Consumer demand for transparency is the driving force as to why Shan sources her ingredients from a certified organisation. Where do you source your raw materials from?
I source my raw materials from companies that have got the Soil Association certificate. Okay, so for example, the shea butter at the moment is coming from a women's cooperative in Ghana, so it's all fair trade. But so it's quality checked, it goes through a wholesaler. They have to be cruelty free, so I know that like the safflower oil has never been tested on animals.
So what should consumers be looking out for on their products to ensure the ingredients they're putting on their skin are free from synthetics and endocrine disruptors?
One thing you want to look out for is that Soil Association logo, then you've got no problems. You don't need to ask any questions. You know for sure that has got no microplastics in it, no petroleum-based stuff or anything like that.
So with the Soil Association, you know that everything's natural, everything's organic?
Yeah, 100%. There's no doubt about it.
Do consumers really understand what they're buying? And would they continue doing so if they knew it could potentially harm their health in the long term? How far are you willing to go for the cost of beauty? The average woman uses just under 16 products in her everyday beauty routine, and the extent of our exposure to this chemical mixture remains unclear. Milan Antonevic is the Professor of Pharmaceutical Science at Surrey University.
Skincare products are also always applied to our skin. Skin is there to protect us, so it's a natural barrier. So should actually not allow molecules to come in. And if you apply, same product over a longer period of time, those nasty chemicals could potentially, penetrate in, and if cannot be destroyed by our body, that is a problem, because those depots of unwanted chemicals will potentially cause issues. So in that sense, there is now some stigma against a synthetic molecule. And I must be honest with you, in pharmaceutical industry, things are much more regulated. Cosmetic industry is not that regulated, and this is where consumers may actually come with clear and fundamentally correct questions. Why would we use artificial or synthetic molecules if there are good, for example, natural products?
While our constant use of skincare products could potentially cause health issues, consumer choices are driven by more than just science. Natalie Berry is a lecturer in social psychology at the University of Southampton.
I think it comes down to habit. So we know it's hard to break habits, and if you've got limited cognitive resources from working hard or being busy, you're likely to just go with what you know. If you've got brand loyalty, if you've been with a brand for a while, that brand loyalty, you can sometimes be reluctant to leave, and it can take a while before you can adopt a new brand. But it also comes down to other individual differences like self-esteem. If people in your group, or if people you admire, or people you have a social identity with, or you want to be in a group with, if they are consuming like that, like influencers, if they're still using it, that can also go to that fundamental humanistic need of needing to belong. And the product that you always bought is easy, it works, you're just going to fall back to that habit of just getting what works for you, and you don't always think about what's bad for you.
But what if the familiar isn't safe? And what if the products we trust carry unseen consequences? Whilst our habits and social influences drive product choices, the environmental impact of our constant consumption grows, damaging our ecosystems and polluting our water streams.
Water is a really strange medium. Water is everywhere around us and is the essence of our life. And we need to protect the water. A lot of compounds would end up in the water streams, but larger molecules would often be either entrapped or sunk on the floor rather than traveling long distances. I know that colleagues who are working in the areas of synthetic organic chemistry, they're always looking for molecules that are biodegradable at the moment. But one of the important and crucial things is looking at the well-being of society and health, not only to people who are applying, but also to those who would be in any way impacted by those products once they are washed off hands and ending up either in a water stream or a landfill.
As scientists work to understand and reduce environmental impact of synthetic compounds, another shift is happening in how people think about the products they use.
Ethical consumption isn't just buying eco-friendly products, it's also reducing spending. I think generally it's becoming more of a just discussed topic. I think it's more commonplace now to talk about or think about the environment or have at least the ethics or the morals that you should. But another aspect, I think people generally think about their health as well, and I think eco-friendly products kind of tap into both aspects of helping the environment, helping yourself.
As demand for clean and natural grows, so does the pressure to appear sustainable. But not all claims hold up, and in an unregulated industry, it's hard to tell what's real. While small choices matter, real change may depend on something more: transparency, accountability, and deeper awareness from both brands and buyers.
And this is where we, as a society, should force companies who are making those products to educate end users or customers what are the potential risks, how to avoid, how to apply, and so on. Nowadays, unfortunately, we see less and less of that.
I think collective action needs to be taking place with bigger companies, government, in terms of laws on transparency of how much a company's carbon footprint and how ethical and whether their materials are sustainable. I think more awareness is needed generally. I think more education. I think the rise of social media is helping in some ways with making people aware of issues like animal welfare and the impact that consumption is having on the environment.
Big companies are greenwashing their consumers because they think it's a trend. It's not a trend, it's a new way of life. We need to wake up to it because otherwise this planet hasn't got that long left if we don't start doing something about it. And like I say, small steps, add up to something really big. But these big companies can see people are not going to stand for their absolute BS anymore. People are waking up.
Calls for transparency and awareness reflect more than just policy. They reveal how our values are shifting, and as consumers, we're starting to question not just what we buy, but why we buy it. And sometimes the consequences of those choices show up quietly in the health of the smallest, most essential parts of our ecosystem. What we use on our skin, what we wash away, and what we leave behind, it's all connected. The products we choose don't just shape us, but shape the world around us. Whether it's for health, ethics, or habits, our decisions carry weight. And maybe the question isn't just about what's inside the bottle, but what kind of future we're creating every time we open it.